I didn't realize what had happened to me for 16 years. It took me 16 years to even know there was a name for what happened to me.
We will see cases where an individual won't necessarily self-identify that they are involved in some sort of trafficking or exploitation, but they may identify that they have been traveling in and out of the state with individuals that they're fearful of.
You meet these people and you stop them, you have a search warrant, whatever, you stop them and you look, and it doesn't make sense for this young lady to be hanging out with these particular individuals. So you start digging, why is she with them? You know, oh, okay, they provided her drugs. Well, why are they providing her drugs? What's the benefit to them for providing her with drugs? Because they're in this for money.
Some of the indicators that a parent might see would be a controlling boyfriend. A lot of the time, especially with the younger victims, they're not going to identify their trafficker as their trafficker. They're going to really feel that they're in a relationship with this guy and that he is taking care of them and that he is asking them to do things that might be a little uncomfortable, but they trust this person and they're going to do it.
A lot of what I see, what I do is on the internet. So places like Backpage.com.
Sometimes we'll just get a call that there was a post on Facebook and ask us to look into it, and we'll gather as much information as we possibly can to follow up with them. So if we have to meet with them on a park bench and we can guarantee that there's not going to be people around overhearing or listening in on the confidential information, then we'll meet them there. We've done assessments in our cars. We've done assessments at Dunkin' Donuts in a corner booth if we've needed to, as well as jails, as schools, hospitals, other providers' offices, our office, and in clients' homes. We go into clients' homes frequently.
To truly get the entire story, you do have to go talk to them. It's just developing the best strategy to make that first introduction. And I would say that the most recent efforts that I've been a part of, you don't have to go out and make an arrest. You just need to go out and introduce yourself. And you do have to kind of act in an undercover capacity to talk to them. It's important to recognize that this is truly a dangerous game for them, that talking to police is kind of a deal breaker, that police cooperation can get you assaulted. It can even get you killed. They may not even understand what sex trafficking is, or that they're being exploited. So it's how you ask the question.
Aside from police reports, like when you're meeting one-on-one with somebody, just a lot of it is about listening, active listening into what they're really saying, and the language that they use is huge.
For some reason, the events, their actions, their symptoms don't seem to match up. It's the missing puzzle pieces, I call them. In a chunk of those cases, there is involvement of some sort of exploitation or trafficking that's involved with them.
I got arrested for prostitution at age 13, and my mother had to come to the police station twice. And today, I just think of, what was wrong with people? Why was someone walking me? Why were they saying, this kid is 13 years old, and by the way, this is what happened to her at 12, and by the way, she's been in and out of foster. You know what? No one stopped to say, something's happening to this girl, this little girl. Let's help her, let's figure it out. That never happened, so that was kind of, today I'm hopeful that that would not get overlooked.
Like, I had a lot of bruises on me and stuff that people were questioning, so I just told them I was dancing. That's all I told them, and nobody questioned it or said anything or nothing.
As a prosecutor for almost 30 years, I realize now that I've met women who have been involved in sex trafficking almost since the dawn of my career, but I was just too ignorant to recognize them. And I meet them almost every day at the courthouse. They may not be charged with prostitution offenses or involved in cases with a sex trafficking label. They could be there for a theft charge or a drug possession charge. But when you try to mine below the surface of why they're in front of you, you learn that there's a lot of things that have happened in their life, and very frequently for women in the criminal justice system, their life at some point has involved prostitution or sex trafficking.
I was a teen mom, and I did bring my son to the doctors, and I thought maybe they would pick up on something or see that, or ask questions. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I talk about, is just be interested in teenagers, be interested in learning who they are and what their lives are like, even if they seem on the outside hard and like they have this shell that, they don't want you to interact with them. They do. you know, and we don't want to live in that brokenness that we're in. But if nobody engages with us and asks us what's going on in our lives, that's the simplest, most basic place to start, is just wanting to know.